Hey neighbor, welcome to this neighborhood. I'm zmoT. We've got code zmoT over there in that shop. 5 full days left. Warships going strong. I have cruised my way into 18. Couple blips along the way. 2 losses where this one just awfulness, and then this one just not fast enough. So I'm going to show you some new hits that I've been doing. I have been using heavy Choppas, and if you say, but zmoT, Warriors are working great for me, well, they're not going to be very soon, because there are bases that look like this. Doom Cannon, max rockets, all of the defenses including sniper towers, and 40% building health, soon to be 50, I'm sure, and 110% building damage. These sort of bases got Night Wada into global #1. Okay, weird interruption here. I previously said that I cruised into 18. I then grinded into 19. I'm going to show you a couple hits. I already recorded the other video, but things were going so well, I thought I'd throw this in and then jump back to the other video. Awkwardness. So we're going to do some 19 stuff. Then previous me is going to show you some 18 stuff. So times around here still about the same. This was what I thought was my boss battle for 19, but I ended up only getting 8 stars. 3 minutes 23 on a boss battle. So good. This left-hand side, that is a terrible base. If you're out there watching, it is just ripe for the picking by that left-hand side. Julie, YouTube or whatever, is still using the old wingman ability, so that is probably why that left-hand side is so exposed. Couple smokes to get our troops done and quick. That's the first time I've used smoke probably in 20 battles, but don't forget about all of the tools at your disposal. And then we got a mid-level win against a lower opponent. We only got 5 stars there. Then back to the next boss battle against Wally the Great, and clutch under fire. I am usually suck on my boss battles. 323 and then 321. Pretty happy with that. Using the warriors on that left-hand side, that is my secret sauce. Getting that going, and then knowing that these 2 buildings up there are going to be a pain for our side rocket choppas, so we get those critters out there, and then out comes Rudy on that left-hand side. Rudy, Tooty, fresh and fruity. Is that a Denny's thing? Anyways, getting critters out in the middle and then just going. Watch how perfectly timed that flare was. They were moving away as it was blowing up, and then more critters to keep our troops alive. And like that, we are in 19, and I will jump back into the other video awkwardly. So big shout out to him. Now, as you can see here, this base does not have any troop damage, so need to just go slow and easy, and that is exactly what I did, coming from the back side with 3 boats of heavy choppas. I have never used 3 boats of heavy choppas this season. As a result, I ran out of GBE right here, had nothing I could do. Would have liked to flare forwards to get those heavies out front, and then just bombing run through this to try to loosen it up a little bit. Would have liked to throw some critters out front to keep Rudy alive, but couldn't do it because had no GBE. So not sure if 3 boats of heavy choppas is the right answer, but definitely going slow is required. And people with warriors would have no chance of finishing this base, I don't think. Maybe you could finish this base off, but I don't think I could pull it off with just warriors and rocket choppas. So, and I notice I almost fizzled as it was. That last rocket choppa had a tiny sliver of health. So maybe if he had 50% building health, I would have fizzled. And speaking of bases much like that, Mini Walker, another fantastic player, just coming in with all of the defenses, using the Shock Blaster. And the Shock Blaster, when Rudy gets stuck on a Shock Blaster, he just kind of sticks there. It's very strange. Again, this time only 2 boats, and I could have been a little bit faster here, but first time I had seen the high defense, and you see Rudy just gets, actually he did okay here. So Rudy just rushing through things, getting some damage done, throwing some critters out there, and just trying my darndest to keep things alive. We will start to see more and more of those bases. A quick note, on when you're trying to go fast with heavy Choppas, as soon as Rudy starts his bombing run, you can flare somewhere else and he will not follow the flare until he finishes. So that is the minor tip that I've got as far as going a little bit faster. These times not super great. Then we get into 318s, 320s. Don't necessarily have to be fast on anyone or everyone, but you want to aim for about 315. So I'll show you my 318 here. And just trying to balance where all of the tools go. It is a tough sled out there. Notice that I am using a warrior over here. That is just to clear that front cannon so I can drop Rudy behind B1 and have him go towards that engine room. We'll show you that in a second here. Just using Rudy to his fullest, trying to keep Rudy going towards the engine room, those warriors standing in, and not entirely sure this is the right strategy. Using a warrior mixed in is not a bad idea if you can do it when they don't have shock launchers nearby. 318, decent, should have been a little bit faster maybe, but we will take it. And speaking of faster, so they don't have shock launchers, so maybe using warriors would have been better, but I've been trying to stop using warriors and just use the heavy Choppas. And you see we've got 1 and 3 on each side, and then as soon as that cannon starts to be considered as going down, we're going to send Rudy up that right hand side. Got a good drop on him, and then watch him get stuck here by that shock blaster. He kind of just hangs out there, and then the bombs end up dropping onto the engine room because he's stuck on top of it. So maybe he would have dropped them before it. I don't know for sure. Again, critters in a perfect spot, in the blind spot on that machine gun, and then just go. Kind of similar to how I've been using warriors with rocket Choppas, but trying to get rid of those rocket Choppas and get rid of those warriors and stop using them as a crutch, because as we get into more shock launchers, more shock blasters, going to be a bit of a problem. Is this the exact same base? Did I show you this? No, I think it might be the same base, slightly different attack because that shock blaster is down low. Rudy just not hitting that button until that other cannon is gone. Need to be a little bit patient, and then he ends up missing, so we just throw the flare and wait for those critters to get that engine room down. Should have been a little bit faster, but sadly Rudy targeted that sniper tower. So lots and lots of good stuff. And the thing is, heavy Choppas are not that far off the path. They're only 1 tick off, and most of these hits, I got into 18 with tick 4 heavy Choppas. You don't need tick 5, so if you've been like me and spent your keys willy-nilly, that is very doable. Just use tick 4, they'll be fine. And now I'm going to throw some extra troop health out here, because why the heck not? I've also got that 3rd shock launcher, which I need to place here somewhere on my base. Not entirely sure where it's going to go. Probably rebuild the base now that we've got that 3rd shock launcher. And now the question is going to be, do we do the saving, that desperate saving to get into 5 engine rooms? Or do we go back and get that prototype? And that prototype is cheap, so I will probably do that first, just knowing that that 5 engine rooms is going to be very, very interesting, because there is that rocket Choppa boost, which will be helpful, but Seekers will be interesting. I'm not sure how they're going to go. Probably decent until shock mines come into play. As one of you have been commenting, there is not a lot of building health in the tree, but there is a lot of building damage. So it'll be very interesting to see once people start to get Seekers. And I have this feeling, I hate this leaderboard, that some of these players have started to get Seekers. Nightwada has fallen down to number 6. Looking at his base, just absolute tank of a beast, and I believe he got to global number 1 before most people had heavy Choppas, so it'll be very interesting to see how a base like that holds up against Seekers and other goodness that is coming. And just a reminder, Seekers, yes, we don't have all of the tools, but you've got Bullet there, you've got Seekers and Smoke, so that should be enough to get through most bases, even with shock launchers. It'll be very, very, very interesting. Anyways, that is going to... Actually, you know what? We'll do one live hit, just so you can watch me lose my win streak. And I mean, there's not a lot of incentive here. Probably going to fall out 18, and I try to record these videos when I'm at my high rank, and then I end up sitting on it. So weird scenario. Figured I would get this going. I'm not sure if the door to 19 is open or not. I'm also not sure if I have the time and patience to do that push, but we shall see here. I guess it kind of depends on this battle. So they've got 50% building damage. We don't need to be terribly concerned about this. Do I go from the left or the right? I kind of feel like going from... Whoa, there's the first step. Let's get rid of that. We need to get rid of that extra heavy choppa. That is going to be step number 1. We're going to send you out there, and then all of this stuff over here. That rocket choppa is going to get out front, I do believe, so we're going to drop that there. Then we're going to drop Rudy as far and wide as we possibly can, hoping that he takes a left-hand turn. It doesn't look like he's going to, unfortunately, so not ideal on the Rudy front, but slowly, there we go. There's that rocket choppa going in the absolute wrong direction there. And that's the bit of a problem at the moment, where I just find that I'm going the wrong direction at times with my troops. And now that Rudy is onto that engine room, we're going to get onto that one, and we are going to be too gosh darn slow by a huge margin. Need to be faster than 3 minutes 10. We got 309. Legend Gijo almost certainly going to beat us. And yeah, like I said, 315 is the number, and I just didn't get there. So we're going to fall out of 18, but that leaves us the ability to leave you with the best soundbite in all of Boom Beach. So hopefully this helped you a little bit, helped you figure out where your upgrades going to go, where your tokens are going to be spent, and all of the rest of it. I am going to keep that submarine diving. It isn't a huge deal, but those small details make all the difference in Boom Beach. And getting only 19 diamonds, come on, what is that all about? That is the downside of being in a task force that is dedicated towards warships, not finishing ops. That is a lot of diamonds left on the table. I shall talk to you soon, though. Thanks for coming in. I'm zmoT. Peace.